Hi guys, I thought I would just give you a really quick demonstration how to schedule your content across social media using Later. So we use Later for all of our scheduling across Facebook, Instagram, and now thankfully they've just added LinkedIn, so we can now do it across all three. It's later.com if you're on the web browser. Otherwise, you can download the app for free in the App Store. I recommend doing both. We use the desktop version to schedule all of our content, but then having the app means that it'll send us a little notification to say that you've got a post ready to go out or a scheduled post has just gone out. And it means that you can check in on what's coming up during the week from your phone, which is quite easy. So you can see that I'm at later.com. We've already got an account, obviously, for Connect and Conquer. We are on the paid version. There are a couple of different plan options, but it's very affordable. I'll have to double check what the payment options are, the plan options are price-wise, but it's, I don't think, any more than 40 New Zealand dollars a month. So I've just logged in. And this is your main screen. So this is basically where you don't really stray too far from here, which is good. Later is really, we find it really easy to use, and it's quite intuitive once you know how to use it. And there's not too much that you have to remember. So that's why we always recommend it and we stick with it. So the first thing that you want to have a look at is over in this side, if you can see where my mouse is, we've got your gallery. So this is where we've uploaded images into this space by clicking up here, upload media. And these are photos that we're ready to use as posts for future posts, or some of these down here, things we've used in the past. So that is your gallery. Over here in this main space, this is the calendar. So this is kind of the most important bit. At the moment, and this is something to pay close attention to when you are logging in for the first time and every time after that. What happens is Later automatically sets it as the weekly view. So you can see across here, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and onwards. And then down the side, it's got the times running from 7 a.m. early in the morning right through past till midnight. So they have it set as that, which is fine, but they only have Instagram selected at the moment. So we've set up, we've linked our Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to this, which I'll show you in a separate video how to do that. It's really easy. We've got ours set up, and what happens is when we first log in, Later only selects Instagram. So at the moment, I'm only seeing posts that are connected to our Instagram. So what I want to do straight away is select the other two to make sure that I'm looking at all three platforms at once. And this is totally personal preference, but I actually prefer to view the month at a time once I'm logging in and looking at the entire month or even the month before. So up here you can see that we're on today, which is this grey square, so there's nothing scheduled for today, and this is the month. If I was to click back, it'll take me to May, and you can see all the posts that have gone out, and they're sort of shaded over so you know that they have already gone. So if we go back into this month, so June, so we are looking at the rest of the month. You can see we've got some posts scheduled for the following Wednesdays, and then obviously a few posts to go in either side of those. So say I wanted to schedule our next post for tomorrow, I can click and drag this image from the gallery across the side. So any image that you want to schedule, it needs to be in the gallery. So I can click and drag this and hover it over the day that I want to schedule it for. So say tomorrow's Thursday, and then drop. It's really important to make sure that all three of your platforms are highlighted here and that you've selected all of them, because if they're not, say if it was just Instagram and I clicked and dragged the image over, only Instagram, I'd only be scheduling a post for Instagram, and it would be a little bit annoying then if you had to then go and manually do it for the following two. So I recommend double checking that first. And now that you've got your image here, we will continue on and put in a caption and schedule some hashtags. Okay, cool. So now that we've got our photo in here, ready to go, ready to schedule, we need to put a caption. So for most of for any of you that have done either social media training with us, either of the types of social media training, you'll know that I recommend planning your content and actually writing it outside of the scheduling time, so that when you come to scheduling, you're just bulk scheduling a whole lot of posts that you've already written. I find that's a lot easier. So say that I had written this in our content planner, this caption, in our content planner somewhere else, it would just be a case of copying and pasting it into here. So I could do that. The next thing to do, so at the moment, this is the caption and image going to these 3 platforms. So pop your caption in here, and then click customize, and it's going to open it up into the 3 different platforms. So you can see we've got Instagram, Facebook, and then LinkedIn down here. You'll see that there are slightly different options for each platform, and that's because each platform is different. So Instagram actually has the most options. So we've got things like adding a first comment, adding a link in the bio, location, and tagging people. So this is where you can customize the caption, or like the text that you're including with the post to fit that platform. So for example, with Instagram, we'll often use more emojis here than say LinkedIn, where we generally tend to not use them so much. The other thing with splitting them out into these 3 platforms here is that how you deal with your hashtags is going to be different. Again, if you've done the training with us, you'll know what to do here. You'll know where the hashtags are different. But so for example, for Instagram, we always recommend, and we always do this, that you add your hashtags as the first comment on the post. So not within the caption itself. For example, like this, you would, that's not even a hashtag, you would instead, so that your caption remains sort of uncluttered and no attention's taken from it, you would add them as your first comment. So what we've done beforehand, and this is what you can do with later, and this part that I'm doing right now is actually one of the paid features, and that's one of the main reasons why we pay for the paid plan, because this is a really helpful automation. So this is the first comment. So this will be the comment that is going to automatically go out on the post. So if I go to save captions, it's going to pop along the side, and I can see here that I've got my little hashtag bank set up. So we've got 3 different categories for our hashtags at the moment. So we've got business, social media hashtags, and then Facebook ads hashtags. And these are specific to different sort of service areas of our business, and then an overall business and marketing kind of themed hashtags that we include for most of our posts. But say this post was about social media training, I would use the social media hashtags, for example. But if I click on business, you can see that they pop there just below. So that's going to go out as the first comment, and I don't have to go in and manually add any hashtags to the post, which is really great, and it saves a lot of time, and it saves me missing the hashtags on the post and kind of missing that opportunity. So that's cool. That's going to do that. I can just click done. Then down with Facebook. Facebook and LinkedIn, the hashtags are very similar, and they will be in the post and not in the comment below. We recommend from 1 to 5 hashtags. You don't use as many as on Instagram, which again, if you've done the training, you'll know. So I would pop them, after the caption, I would just drop a few lines and then pop the 3 or 5 here. Obviously, the hashtags here, you want a little bit of strategy behind the ones that you use. So don't just pick at random, and I'd recommend doing that little bit of research beforehand. So once you've done that, you've got all 3 captions and all images ready. You can see up here, it gives you the time and the date that it's going to publish it. So we scheduled it for tomorrow, but what time would we like? Again, this is something that pop a little bit of thought behind, and make sure that you are aware of what times of the day and what days of the week your audience are most engaged and most active online. And you can do that by going into your these platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and checking out your audience insights. Cool, so let's pick a time. We know that 9 a.m. in the morning during the week is a really good time for us for when our audience is most engaged in online. So we're going to pick 9 a.m. Then I'm going to click Save 3 Posts, and after it loads for a second, it's going to, if you look to Thursday, where we've just scheduled it for, so for tomorrow, if I go 2 more, you can see the 3 posts. We've got pink for Instagram, the light blue for LinkedIn, and then the dark blue for Facebook. So that's great. We've got the 3 posts scheduled, and they're good to go. If you want to see how your posts look on your news feed, this is specific to Instagram only, and that's because it only really sort of matters on Instagram, because that's where you're going to see all your posts sort of amongst one another. So if you want to see how that scheduled post fits in with the rest of your images and the rest of your posts, you can deselect Facebook and LinkedIn from up the top, so that you're only looking at Instagram at the moment, so it's only pink. And you can see up here that there's a little added option, preview has just arrived, because we're only looking at Instagram. The same thing that next to it, another option has been added, and that's stories. So you can actually schedule stories the same way that you schedule posts for Instagram. That's a little bit different, where nothing's going to go out automatically. It'll still send you a notification, but we will talk a little bit about that later. So just check out how your post is going to look on your feed. Click preview once you're on Instagram only. And now it's going to give us a little bit of a grid option. So you can see, so at the moment, because if you think back to our calendar, we had a whole lot of these posts scheduled for Wednesdays, because they're sort of like our educational posts. And because we didn't have anything either side of them, at the moment, these are the scheduled posts, and that it looks a bit busy. But once we've got other posts like these, and lots of other images scheduled either side, that will break that up. But you can see here, so the little icons where it has the little Instagram logo, that means that these are posts that have gone out, they've already published, whereas these posts with the little arrows on them are ones that you can actually, that they have been scheduled, but you're able to edit these, so you can swap them around. So for example, if we look at the post that we just scheduled for tomorrow, if I click and drag, I can swap it over. Oh, here we go. I can swap it and then let go, and then that will have bumped it over to the following day. So we've actually swapped dates with whichever date that original post was on. And if I want to do that, I would click Save Changes. Because I don't, I'm going to undo that. But yeah, that's a really good way of checking how everything looks. You can actually have a bit of a scroll back and see what your feed's looking like. And it's a really helpful tool. Okay, cool. So now that you know how to schedule a post and then go back and edit the time and date. So I'm back in calendar at the moment. I will flick it over to month. I've got all 3 platforms selected, so that's a good position to be in. Just quickly, if you have scheduled a post, or if you want to schedule a post that is a single image, so for example, the post that we've just demonstrated before, so a single image with your caption, when you schedule that, it will go out automatically at the time of publishing. So in this case, 9 a.m., that will go out automatically from the 3 different platforms without you having to do anything. You will be notified via the app to say that it's gone out, but you won't be required to do anything to make that happen. If, however, you want to do a post with a couple of images, so whether that's like a carousel, like the swipe across on Instagram, or on Facebook, it's just a couple of images in one post, you do need to be on the paid version of Later to make that happen. So again, another reason that we recommend upgrading to the paid plan. And you do have to do it slightly differently. So if I wanted to do a carousel image of, say, these 3 images here in one post, if you hover over the little tick so that it becomes blue, you can select the images that you want. On Instagram, you can choose up to 10 images for a multi-image post. So it's the same process from here. So you click and drag them across, and you would drop them onto the day, and then it would pop up with your window to then add the caption and choose the time and things like that. One thing to note, though, is that on Instagram, when you do a multi-image post, which you'll know from doing on the app, it's a slightly different process. So Later can't automatically publish those for you. So they will send you a notification to say, hey, you've got a post ready to publish. You'll click on it. It will open up the Later app on your phone, and it will tell you at the top that you've got your post ready to publish. So you'll click on that, which will take you through to Instagram, and then you'll follow the instructions from there. It's really straightforward, and it's pretty automated outside of that, but you will have to do the next steps yourself and then click publish. So it is super quick, but just to let you know, they won't automatically publish your Instagram posts. But if you've got any other questions about Later and how to use it, there are a few extra features, but nothing too crazy. Some of them are pretty specific to the paid plan. So if there is something else that you'd like to see, let me know. You do have other settings options along here. If you're on a paid plan, you can check out your analytics. They do have an option for link in bio, so that's specific to your Instagram, and obviously a media library where you can check out all of your things that you've uploaded into the library and reorganize them. But yeah, if you have any questions about Later, let us know, and let me know how you get on.